G'day guys, welcome back to Supercoach Swordplay and welcome to my round 17 review. Unfortunately, no more green arrows. When I say no more, I haven't seen a green arrow in I reckon about a month, but the fall just continues. And I've now come to the conclusion that unless an absolute miracle occurs here, this is going to be my worst season ranking in a very, very long time, possibly ever. But we all have those years where things just don't go right. And this year, I'm going to be kind to myself and I'm going to give myself a bit of a mulligan. As I mentioned, we all have these years, and this year has just been my year. It's been a different beast, Supercoach 2025. Have I not adapted quick enough? Has it been about luck? Has it been about timing, decision making? I'll really reflect on that towards the end of the year. But in giving myself a bit of a mulligan here, I've now become at peace with what's going to be just a shocking season for me, because with 3 trades and not much cash in the bank, I don't feel there's many moves, if any, that I can make at this stage to make a real difference and really move up the ladder in the overall ranks. So I've become at peace with that, and the stress has basically gone out the window. So I think that might be a bit of a healthy thing for me, because for the last however many years I've been playing this game, it has taken up a lot of my time, a lot of my thinking, but now I feel that I can just kick back a little bit, almost like the exam is finished and I'll just let it be. Whatever will happen with this side. And maybe towards Supercoach finals, when maybe we get to Supercoach finals, I'll start to make a couple of moves with my remaining trades, if not already eaten up with injuries before then. So I've become at peace with what will be with this side. So I'll quickly take you through it. And the big discussion really with this side this week is going to be the so-called advantages that I thought I would have at this stage that are now becoming some major disadvantages. That's why, and a big reason behind why I think that I'll really struggle to climb up those ranks. But it is what it is. Let's take a look at this side, and then hopefully we can nail the captain again this week. Alrighty, so a real mixed bag this week in the defensive line. We had my man Naz with a beautiful 155, really kept the team afloat. Zorks with 100, right on the ton. Dale with a 65. And an apology from Bevo. We'll talk about that in the podcast this week. Jack Sinclair with a 72. The Kirch, my man the Butch, with a 123. Mills with a 107, which was really nice. Really let me down last week. Whitfield didn't play, obviously, with those delayed concussion symptoms. And Campbell Gray continues to be out with injury. Now, this takes me to what I just touched on before about those supposed advantages in my side. Now, earlier on the season, when I invested in some of the big names in the back line, I thought this is going to give me a big leg up on the competition at this stage of the season when other teams simply can't afford them. They're going to be the blokes that give me the really nice averages that'll set me apart from the rest. And the 3 blokes I'm really referring to here, and again, this was based on my predicted averages as well. You may have had different predictions yourself, but it was Zorko, Whitfield, and Sinclair. This week, you get Sinclair with a 72. Now, he has just fallen off the face of the earth. A terrible 3-week stretch of scoring, and I just do not know what's happened to this man. And again, I haven't been watching as much football as I should have been. We've got Zorko with a ton. He's been so up and down. It's not funny. More recently, more down than what he's been up after that really, really nice 3-week opening to the season. And then Lockie Whitfield. And look, when we select Lockie Whitfield, we know there'll be a weird injury or two, but this matchup against the Eagles, you buy the bloke for matchups like this when you look at the run coming up, and to be out, it's just shattering. And you feel for him. Supercoach is just a game we know. Health comes first, but these advantages that I had, so if you add the 3 scores this week between those 3, it's literally 172. You want around at least, 115 average you're expecting from these blokes, and that could be a little bit more, but matchups and all the rest is looking okay this week, but what do you get? About half of that. So these advantages that I've got now, you look at other players like a Max Holmes flying past these blokes, absolutely flying past them. I've got someone like a Naz, who, as I mentioned, is also flying past them. And I think a bit of a must-have, bit of a wink-wink for that exchange on Twitter, but all in good fun. But yeah, that's what's really, really hurt me at this stage. And look, Dale with a 65. moved up onto a wing. You just wouldn't read about this type of stuff, but it happened. It is what it is. And again, this should be a really nice matchup. Unfortunately, it wasn't. But then you get a couple of shining lights here in the Butcher with 123. Really nice. The disposal count has been through the roof the last few weeks, but things just clicked a little bit more from a Supercoach sense. So really saved me this week, along with Callum Mills on debut last week. Just an absolute train wreck, but he went 100 plus. So I suppose these things make up for it. And having someone like a McCarthy that I can have in the flex for an 80 odd, that's also okay as well. But yeah, a bit of a disaster there. Things just haven't worked out. Dacos has really, I suppose, repaid the faith in the last 3 weeks, but before that was really mediocre. But a nice 127. Bont, how up and down, the absolute roller coaster, which I thought I'd never say about Bont, but really up and down. And again, a mistake really paying up for him. And that fixture run tempted me too much. Put my hand up there, but it is what it is. Dawson, the first sub-ton since I brought him in, so I'll accept a 98. He's got a nice run coming up, so things should be all good there. Brayshaw had a really, really nice start to the season. Tapered off a little bit, but overall has been a really fantastic pick, averaging close to 118. No complaints there. Georgie boy, this one hurt because Chocky, of course, the week that I trade him out, goes 120 plus. Bergman, you'd assume would be an absolute lock to go to him. Said, Lockie, you can run free for some reason. Just didn't see this coming. But again, it is what it is. Gave me a nice 120 last week, which was, I think, my second or third highest score for the round. This week, just did not deliver. But, well, it happens to me, I suppose. Dunkley with 93. All of a sudden, major forward time. Originally, when this started against the Giants, I thought, well, it's just dependent on what's happened during this game because Payne's out. We've had to shift the magnets a little bit, but unfortunately, it has been a little bit of a trend since then. Not fantastic. You could have, well, Sinclair here, whoever you want, but under-delivering at this spot with a 94, and then Shearer with an 89. But I didn't expect anything huge from him, but look, I thought at least a 105 type average. I hope that I can still get that. Who knows? It's unfortunate. No one on the bench played. Gone with the 79. Again, one of these huge advantages that I think I've got, particularly over someone like a TDK. So TDK with Pito delivers a stinker, and then I've got Gorn here, I think, huge advantage. Gives me a 79. So 2 really poor weeks from him. Lost a bit of that ceiling. Well, it is what it is, but my fault for paying up so much, but it was dependent on a few things. I know Shea with a 126, great starting pick, and is continue to call him a must-have. Boyd with a nothing. Baz just killed me here because all of a sudden you don't have that forward coverage. You've got the extra coverage with your McCarthy, who can go with your backs, can go in your midfield, but can't go forward. So lots of people, lost a bit out here, but had to take every score this week. Couldn't rely on losing one of those with the best 22. Darcy with a 73. Look, harshly done by. I tell you what, I saw 2 or 3 frees and call it owner's bias, but I saw what I saw. This could have easily been a ton, but well, it is what it is. Rankin with a 131. Now, I made a big call, which I will be revisiting on the Swordplay potty last week. Love this man with a 131. So I expect him to come back. The possession count wasn't huge, but really hit the scoreboard. Beautiful work from Isaac Rankin. A lot of people traded him out. I want to say a lot. I know a few that did, but yeah, really repaid the faith. It's been a long time since we've seen a ton. So thank you very much, son. Warner with a 95. I think in the last 3, he's gone like 93, 94, 95. So super consistent. I'll just take a 95 plus from him. That's all good. Danny with a 79. Call him a fake primo, but what's he cost at the start of the year? Been a little bit up and down, but other people have been worse, so I'll take it. Simpson was the captain there because I went with the Bont 133. And then Mr. Shea. Has he been one of the worst trade-ins? He's just an absolute nothing pick and just hope that you get lucky. That's all it is with him. And McCarthy came on with an 82. So where are the fake premiums out everywhere here? I'm missing a few, but not much I can do at this stage. Now, with 33K in the bank, I could make some sort of a sideways trade here, but I just don't think that it's worth it. I'm hoping that Whitfield comes back on. And at this stage, do you trust McCarthy over some of these picks? I still can't at this stage. So What I'll do is I'll have the Kirch there. I'll bring Whitfield on for McCarthy. Now, with Richmond having this game here, I've got Dale playing in the back line beforehand. McCarthy's the last one, so I can do some looping possibly somewhere here for Chera maybe. So I'll loop Chera with McCarthy. Maybe that's the best solution here in all seriousness. So let's maybe do that. So Chera there for McCarthy. Jericho's no good. I'll keep McCarthy there. He's just got that early game, so I think it might be easy to do that. None of these blokes will play. So that's probably the only move that I can make. Bolton for Simpson. I'll just continue. Oh, unless Pedler comes in. So can I loop potentially? I might be able to do something like that and hope that a Pedler does something half decent. That means that Gray will just come on. Yeah, do something like that. To allow him to come on as my captain. Kirch there. All right, so let's get to captains. Now, obviously, third man up is the best spot for this. Brisbane. So Georgie Boy probably doesn't have that. Well, he has shown a ceiling, but against Brisbane, just don't know. Dacos against Gold Coast. Well, they're supposedly meant to be the easiest midfield matchup, aren't they? Dacos with a 3-round average that is on fire. So at this stage, he's going to be the bloke I'm going with there. Dogs versus Adelaide. Dawson, well, they won't play a defensive matchup, will they? The Bont. Do I just captain the Bont? Hope he doesn't have a down game. Maybe. Well, he's probably the next captain there, apart from you've got Dawson. Giants, Geelong. Don't trust Baz or Whitfield on that one. Richmond, Essendon. If I had a Cordwell, maybe that could be an option, but no. Freo, Hawthorn. So do I go Bray? Potentially. Over Bont there. It's a big game. Bont steps up in the big games. Maybe I'll just do keep the faith with Bont, but Brayshaw could be one. Now, the two big boys, Sherry absolutely destroyed Gawn during their last matchup. But I'm just not sure here. I might just leave that matchup for the week. Now, the Saints versus Sydney, the issue is that they went the double tag, and I'm worried about Naz this week. But I would love to go Naz as that late captain. Sinclair, you can't trust at the moment. Mills, no. Warner, as a real pod, you can't trust. Geez, you'd love to have Errol, wouldn't you? And then Port versus West Coast. So I don't own Rosie, I don't own Butters, and I don't own Horn Francis. And I'd planned with my final side preparations to have both of Butters and Horn Francis there. Unfortunately not, but that could be a very tough watch. I'm not going to watch that last game. That's going to be an absolute killer. So that's probably how I'm going to line up this week. I'm not going to make any luxury trades. I am in, what I might do, I'll show you this league that I'm in and shout out to anyone that I am in the league with. I have not given the leagues any sort of coverage, but which one is it? Is it this league here? All right, so this is the $100 cashy. Take a look here. So you've got the great Stu, Joshy, who is obviously the great JG, Supercoach God in Jack, Dill, Kumran, Jamie, Marcel. Oh, sorry, we'll stop at Jamie there. So from first to sixth, you've got 40 points. So we are equal on points with just percentage separating these great blokes here. 109, 101.9, 101.8, 101.3, 101.1. 99.9, 99.5. Absolutely crazy there. And we've got Hurls there as well at 6. And then you've got myself, who's had a draw, believe it or not, on 38. And then you've got Causer on 36, Jacob on 36, Cole on 36. And then you've got Jeff on 32. And then even Zachy Boy there on 30. Now, can Zach come into the 8? potentially with a game and a half out. But if you look at that, so let's just say from number 1 right through to number 10, there is 1 game separating these sides. So I'm going to be focusing a fair bit on this, and shout out to everyone in this league. So you got Tom there, Steve as well, Carl, Joshy Boy, Chica, Daniel, Benny, Klopp, the great Klopp, and Zach, as I mentioned there as well. So shout out to all those great people there in that cashy. Then you've got the charity $100 cashy as well. So we've got, Steve really out in front there in 52, but then 44s down to 40s all the way to 8th. So 1 game separating, 2nd all the way to 8th. And then you've got 36s to 32s there as well. So you may argue that Johnny, the great John, is just a little bit out of reach there, but who knows, with 3 games to go, there could be a miracle here. But yeah, that is pretty much maybe set until 11th there. But yeah, shout out to Steve, the great Silver Pigeon in Mark, always up there in my cashies. Cade with Bonds Boys, myself there, lucky to be in 4th. Deal Steph, Cole again, Izzy, Zane, great man is Cheese there. Nivy, Jimmy, John, Jake, Damo, Jara, Johnny, Jonathan, Jeff, Carl, and JC with the Dreamers as well. So very, very close in the cashies. And we've also got the Charity 50 there as well. So some really good prizes here. I've got Jay there, who's overall rank of 140. Kate there as well. Stu, Bill, Zane, and I won't go through all the names here, but I will just quickly, the great Pig as well. Some absolute legends through here. So congratulations to those people who are close, but that is overall, so never too late to be in the cash. So I will leave it there, guys. Much love. Keep up to, I'll start again. Stay tuned for all of the content this week. We'll obviously have the potties. The boys will be doing their lives. May have something a little bit different also, so look out for that one. But apart from that, guys, all the best of luck. If you are tuning out to Supercoach, GDS is your place. We'll have a couple of videos about GDS, some card openings or some pack openings this week, which should be fun, but never too late to enter there if your Supercoach is not going too well. So all the best, guys. That's it from me for now. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.